Hello, everyone. Welcome to WD Carousel Podcast. My name's Ian.
And I'm Crystal.
And we're going to, kind of continue our little adventure through all the different lands of the Magic Kingdom.
Yes, this is your quarantine tour of the Magic Kingdom.
Yes, because we're all missing Disney a lot right now. And
I mean, we were supposed to be there by now.
Yeah.
When this posts, we are literally supposed to be inside the park. I actually think we were going to be Magic Kingdom this day. Because weren't we going to do Magic Kingdom on Saturday? Which was odd, but yes, we were going to.
Yes, that was actually the plan. And the thing is, I got so sad that I deleted it from Touring Planner, so I couldn't even tell you anymore. I'm fine. It's fine.
It's okay.
I know. We can't even see each other. Like that's the level where we can't go, let alone going to Disney. We don't even see each other. So it's fine. We're fine. Everything's fine. But yeah, so in a less depressing news, let's talk about Adventureland, which is one of the
lands.
one of the lands. It's so eloquent.
It's okay. I was literally just if you're watching at home, I was just gesturing, it was my cat who had decided to scratch the carpet right next to the cat scratching thing. Like literally had to move the cat scratcher out of the way to get the carpet right next to it. So I didn't want to yell at it because I didn't want to blow your eardrums, but if you saw me gesturing, that's what was going on.
That was the deal.
That was Pugsley. Go figure.
That is, I could have probably told you that just based on behavior. Just seemed very much a Pugsley move.
Okay, so logging back into that silly computer, let's talk about Adventureland.
Adventureland, yes.
As we had talked about a couple episodes ago, I can't remember which one. I think it was where we took the survey of which direction people go when you enter into Magic Kingdom.
Magic Kingdom, yeah.
And it's so ingrained in us as, right side of the road driving people, right side of the hallway passing people. Almost everybody heads over to Tomorrowland first.
Yes.
But we decided to go quote unquote chronologically as far as time periods go.
Yes.
/ clockwise, because that makes sense. So Adventureland is the first world that you get to from the hub after you have passed by Main Street. In fact, once you have passed by the Crystal Palace, there is this little wooden bridge that you cross over to get into Adventureland.
Yes.
And
it is Yeah. And it so it's a carryover from Disneyland as well, just like how Main Street has its roots from Main Street USA has its roots from Main Street in Disneyland. It's very similar and it has a lot of the same things, but it's actually not totally the same in terms of what's in it, just like Disneyland. So it opened then on October 1st, 1971, like so many of these worlds did.
Yes. But what I love about this is it is one of the worlds where it actually has a really neat reveal where all the sightlines. I mean, Disney's always been very focused on sightlines, and that way you don't have a lot of feelings of like Fantasyland being mixed with Frontierland being mixed with this and that. So when you cross over that bridge, there's a lot of dense foliage, and you pass underneath this awning that is like torches and tiki masks and skulls, and it really just kind of helps bring that character of the land to the forefront right off the bat, which is really kind of cool.
Yeah. And like you said, it's got that liminal space. It's got the bridge that draws you in and pulls you into the land in a way that's very, very striking. It lets you know what's happening right away. And I think in other places, like I know in Tomorrowland when they renovated, they kind of tried to push that same vibe where it's Adventureland really has this ability to really suck you in right away. I think so anyway, even though a lot of people go the other way. I like the feeling of Adventureland always kind of pulls me in with its kind of, it just feels very
more like
organic.
Yeah, I was going to say immersive organic. You feel like you're actually in the land versus a just for example, because Tomorrowland is the one that a lot of other people head to first, you're going to find that
Yeah.
that one's a lot more industrial feeling,
Yeah.
cement, um, steel structures. It doesn't have the same, I mean, which logically makes sense, but this one you have the trees and the bushes and the
Right.
sounds of
Right.
birds and
Yeah.
just you're in nature and you
Yeah, it's
almost feel, yeah, you almost
dense and
feel like
lush. Yeah.
you are trying to be an explorer as well in the spirit of adventure, and there could be more that you can even discover that nobody else has.
Right.
So when you
Right.
walk in there, they even keep the full south side of the walkway, or if you're walking in, it'll be your left hand side,
Yeah.
full packed with dense foliage. The right side, you'll
Right.
see buildings, but
Right.
you still have that whole side that is just nothing but plant matter.
Right.
And it
Right.
helps keep um
The frontier adventure aspect kind
not
of.
frontier, that's the next one.
Well, I know, but you know what I mean. Like, there's that frontier of
Discovery.
exploration. Yeah, wasn't
Yes.
using the. Yeah, I know what you
It's
mean,
okay.
but yeah.
It's okay. I
Um,
get you. I
you
got you.
got it. You got
I
it.
got you.
But yeah, so it kind of ties in with the aesthetic. And I've always been kind of a sucker for this aesthetic, that 1950s adventure, exotic locales, tiki kind
Mhm.
of vibe.
Me too.
And
And
yeah, I
I
just
hate,
love tiki. I hate it, but I
well,
love it.
I hate that I want to admit to being like, yes, I love the romanticism of colonialism,
Yep.
where it is, you know, the first time you are able to go into a new world and a new culture and have those exotic, you know, people around you and interactions and scenes and displays
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
you know, I hate that, you know, we colonized everything to the point of where
Right.
it's all white bread again, but
I know.
you know, that spirit of discovery is something that
Yeah.
even Walt himself loved, and that's why he
Right.
loved the tiki culture so much, because it
Right.
was just up and coming when he was, you know,
Getting
creating the
into.
parks as well.
Yeah.
It was new to
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
It was new to everybody.
Disneyland, especially, it was like totally brand new.
Mhm.
And and to me, it's so much fun because of that. It's like no one really does like tiki the tiki vibe, adventure vibe, quite like Disney does. Like, they just
Mhm.
have this like next level. No matter where they implement that look, it's just absolutely perfect no
It
matter
does
where
feel
you
more
go.
authentic than any tiki bar you go to, which I mean makes
Right.
sense.
Right.
But
Right.
yeah, definitely. So there are three types of areas within Adventureland. So the first one is, we'll go timeline here, not necessarily locale, but there's an Arabian village, or Arabian,
European.
not Arabian,
Airbnb village.
an Arabian village. There's the European imperialism, and there's the Caribbean Plaza.
Right.
And
Right.
they blend so seamlessly together
They do.
that it is like you don't even know really that they're completely separate areas of the world, but
Right.
they are.
They are. And you can tell, and honestly, you don't even, the second that I saw that the first time that they had broken it down that way, like, it made total
Mhm.
sense, but I just never thought about it. Like, and every one of those things, like, the Arabian Village, like, they all have their purpose. With
Mhm.
Arabian Village, you've got like the Aladdin stuff, or it kind of has these different themings that just work perfectly. And
Yeah,
of course, we know that this is how they operate, but it fits perfectly with different little chunks of Disney property. It's really amazing.
definitely. The thing that I thought was interesting though is the weenie that they chose for Adventureland. So,
Yeah.
okay, let's explain a
Yeah,
weenie a
let's talk
little
about a
bit.
weenie. So a weenie is a weird Waltism. I don't know
Mhm.
why he chose that
I don't
as the
know
thing, but
either.
he did. It's basically like a themed wayfind, kind of,
Mhm.
what are they called? Like a themed wayfinder, or a
Yeah.
themed kind of a structure, or I'm trying to
Yeah, a visual center
visual
point
aid.
to be
Yes,
able to
to
get you
draw
to
you.
X, Y, or
Yeah,
Z. To
yeah, it
draw you
draws you
in.
in. Yeah, it kind of pulls you across the different areas, and kind of creates a natural flow that you
Mm-hmm.
don't even know that you're kind of being sucked into.
Mm-hmm. The
Which,
biggest weenie that we can talk about is like the castles.
the other thing we can't talk about. Sorry. Sorry, guys.
We
Sorry.
weren't gonna really do a focus on the hub, but like the castle, definitely
Right.
as soon as you clear through um the
Main Street
tunnels
area. The tunnel,
around
yeah.
the main street area, you see the castle, you are
Yep.
drawn to it. And
Right.
that's what a weenie is. And so when we're talking about Adventureland, they have a weenie as well, which it makes sense, but I'm also kind of shocked that they chose this versus the other one. So
Right.
they have the weenie as the Tiki Room, which,
Right.
like I said, makes sense. It's in the middle of the land. It's also a tall structure. There's 9 tiers to it, and you can pretty
Right.
much see it from wherever. But the one that I was
Yeah.
shocked that like blends into the background because it's intended to, but I didn't even think about it, but it's just as tall, if not taller, is the Swiss Family Robinson treehouse.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah,
It
and that one
blends
does,
in.
you're right. I suppose that one kind of blends in, so you don't really see it. In fact, the first couple of times like I went to Disney, I didn't even remember it, at all really. Or I saw it and I thought it was like a piece of background. Like I didn't even think you could go in it.
That's just undeveloped land over there.
Yeah,
They'll
it's just
get
some
to it
other
eventually.
stuff like, your small Ian mind like wasn't really thinking about it. But yeah, with Tiki Room it's interesting because every time that like I think of the Tiki Room, I just don't think about it being tall. And then every time I go and I look up, I'm like, wow, that's a big building. Like, why am I not? Every time I just like forget that it's tall. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, it doesn't feel like it'd be a tall structure, but it really is.
I mean, I know it's leveled, and I like in my head I know it's leveled, but I don't think it's 9 tiers leveled. But they
Right.
even at the top they have like carved out statues of gazelle and
Right.
like water buffalo, but they also, even though you can technically see those from Frontierland because of the
Right.
distancing, it fits on with the
Yep.
Frontierland theme as well because it looks like the horned cattle
Yep.
that you'd be dealing with in
Because
Frontierland. So
of course they, again, like you said, with those sight lines, they are
sightlines.
always keeping track of the sight line.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that obviously is not even in the areas that we talked about that are there, but it is
Right.
connecting the Arabian village to the Caribbean plaza, and it flows so nicely. So
Yeah.
going back to the actual walkthrough, when you are walking into the land, like I said, the left hand side is almost all dense foliage, and then the
Yep.
right hand side are all the separate little buildings. There you're going to find it looks like the European imperialism colonial buildings, and you're going to see a lot more like hurricane shutters on the windows to make it seem like you're
Yeah.
in a tropical area. It looks
Right.
like there could be like condos or apartments up at the top, but there aren't. That's where your shops are. That's where a lot of dining is. Then you head from there into the Arabian village, which is where it's almost like they have not quite an open market, but they have like the ricotta and clay buildings with the
Right.
burlap awnings and
Right.
the uh, magic carpets of Aladdin. That's the one.
Yes.
And the big
The second you
statue.
stopped, I was like, wait, I know this one, but now I have totally
Yes.
spaced it as well. Wonderful.
The big statue of the camel, which spits.
Yes.
This
Yes.
is also, while I was doing my research, I never thought about it, but this is the land that you're most likely to get surprisingly wet.
That is true. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
Unless you're
because
like
you have the camel that
actively going
spits
on
at you,
to. Yeah, that's true.
and then you have the
And then
Leaky Tikis,
Yep.
which are
Yep,
next
the
to him, which is like 6 huge tikis that,
Yeah.
will play drums and stuff, but occasionally,
Right.
now I'm air quoting because I've
Right.
seen a heck of a lot more than occasional recently,
Usually.
misting or actually spitting on people as they walk by too. So
Yeah.
and then you think of the Jungle Cruise and walking by the fall, or not walking by, but riding by the falls, you're going to get a little mist
Yep.
on you.
Yep.
And same with pirates, you're going to end up with a little bit of splashing, and it's
Yeah.
the place you're going to get wet.
Well, and that makes, because it's adventure, you don't know where you're going to go. Well, and doesn't, maybe I'm combining things, but doesn't the magic carpets of Aladdin have a little bit of water in them? Or am I thinking of the camel?
You're thinking of the camel, and the camel
Okay.
actually normally doesn't direct at the crew because then that'd be behind its back, and I don't think they're going to
Right.
have the camel turn its head 180 degrees. That might freak
Oh,
people out.
it would.
Unless they have other camels, because it's been so long since I've done the magic carpets. Oh gosh.
Oh,
I don't even want to think
I
about
can't.
that.
I don't even know that I've actually been on them before.
But I
But
believe at one point in time, you're correct, they did have a camel that spit on you. So you have
okay.
to watch out. You're
Yeah.
right, and you have to watch out. But
Mm,
um yeah. So
yeah.
what should we talk about next in regards to
Yeah. Well,
this?
we can, if as long as we're talking about kind of moving through stuff.
Okay.
The the music is
Mm-hmm.
interesting as you move through it, and this is true in a lot of places. But you've got, you come in, and I'm assuming, because I can't remember off the top of my head, but when you're in more of like the tiki areas that are kind of themed out more that way, that you're going to get more kind of like tribal drums, or
Mm-hmm.
something like that, and then you get
Yeah.
more into the Caribbean or even the imperialism areas, you might get more of like a steel drum, or it
Yeah.
depends on kind of the situation, but it's definitely themed out a little bit, and I'm sure and they always transition really well, but as you
Mm-hmm.
move between them, you'll get these different kinds of instrumentation that'll match with the world that you have walked into. I
Mm-hmm.
don't actually know what's in the Arabian Village. I don't remember off the top of
Well,
my head, but
in there, you're obviously going to have the bazaar area, which is a meet and greet location as well as a shop. So down in the bazaar area, you're going to see characters, obviously Aladdin, Abu,
right,
Jasmine, Genie. They rotate out depending. Occasionally, they'll have Jafar in that area for like a villains night or an after hours
right,
Halloween party. Um, but then they also have that's the area for the Aloha Isle with the
yep,
Dole Whip, but that's also kind of
yes,
attached to the Tiki Room,
yes.
and all of it blends so well together. So let's just get into, since I talked about characters, this is a heavily packed place for characters.
Yes.
So like I said, the Aladdin characters, Aladdin, Abu, Jasmine, Genie,
Yep.
occasionally Jafar. Um, Captain Jack Sparrow has a meet and greet outside of Pirates across the stage. There's
Pirates.
actually a
Ooh.
pirate stage where they teach you how to be a pirate.
Yep.
So you can meet him
Yep.
there. In after hours events, it's not abnormal to see Moana, Tarzan, Jane, Turk, all of those guys. Tarzan, Jane, and Turk are normally in front of the Swiss Family Treehouse
That would
because
track.
in
Yep.
Disneyland, it is
It is
Tarzan's
Tarzan's.
treehouse.
Yeah.
So just making the connection there. And Moana, in recent years, has been moved inside the Tiki Room to try and manage queue lines more. But
Oh.
that
I
is
mean,
the
I guess
character
that's
options.
that's interesting. I suppose if she's,
Hmm.
if you're gonna place her anywhere, she'd be in the Polynesian area,
Exactly.
even though it's like a very stylized Polynesian
Yeah,
area.
but in the land itself, because if you're talking
Yeah.
about like down in front of the Jungle Cruise, that's definitely more of the um, European
Imperialism. Yeah.
imperialism,
Yeah.
where it's the discovery and this and that. And we have a whole episode about the Jungle Cruise. So if you want to hear more about the Jungle Cruise,
Oh, that's
go
right. We
check out that
do.
that episode.
Yeah.
And then there's also Pirates of the Caribbean that we have an episode on. You can check that out too. That's a little bit further closer to Frontierland. One of the
Yep.
things that they offer in this land, which this is, I think, the only land outside of Main Street that has its own special little side thing, is the
Hmm.
Pirates League.
Oh, I don't know much about Pirates League,
So the Pirates
actually.
League is a lot like the Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom card game,
Okay.
although it's only in Adventureland. So whereas the Sorcerers has you running around all around Magic Kingdom, this
Yeah.
is set specifically in the Adventureland area where you can interact with different scenery, and it'll either wake up or it'll bubble this or it'll turn on this light or this or that. And they
Right.
have a couple different games you can do and trails you can go to get this treasure map. And so I mean, it's fun. If you are not a big ride person, it is a way to explore a land that I think is
Yeah.
very much overlooked just because if not from the feeling of congestion and almost oh, what is it? Um not me because I'm not afraid of small spaces.
Claustrophobia. Yeah.
But I know a lot of people, they get into that area and it's meant to seem dense. It's meant to seem, hard to move
Yeah.
through because it's
Right.
supposed to be adventure. And so a lot of people just kind of bypass it. Another reason a lot of people bypass it is because if there's a parade going on, this is the only land where you cannot escape. You
Yeah.
can, maybe get to Main Street, but you'll be stuck on the side of Main Street that the parade comes back around through. So you
Right.
can't actually leave.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It's interesting that because I was reading the notes and I was like, I didn't even think about that. That is totally true. That is the only spot where you can't get
in
out.
Frontierland, I mean, if you're on the wrong side of the road, then you're stuck
Yep.
too. But that's not cutting off the whole land. This cuts off the whole land when a parade starts because
Wow.
it basically loops around it. So if a parade's going to be starting soon and you don't want to be there, maybe don't be there.
Yeah.
If you know a parade's going to be starting soon and a lot of people are avoiding that area, maybe you want to do the rides. I don't know.
I don't
know. And then the other rides we'd already talked about, the Magic Carpets of Aladdin, the Swiss Family Treehouse, and the Tiki Room.
Yep.
There are some food options there as well. Yes. Brought up Aloha Isle, which does the traditional Dole Whip, which if you guys are watching anything associated with Disney, they just gave away the secret recipe for it.
I saw that.
Although I don't think it's the actual recipe because theirs calls for vanilla ice cream and real Dole Whip on the property is dairy free.
Oh, yeah, because I know that you can get it with the ice cream, but I suspect that, that isn't like, you don't have to do that. I know I've gotten it without.
And here I know they're using it as a base for making the Dole Whip. So it's not quite real, but it's also really delicious and it'll get you by.
Yeah. It'll get your fix.
Sunshine Tree Terrace is another one that does Dole Whip, but it does not do the pineapple. It has a citrus swirl, which is where our dear little orange bird lives.
Yes, indeed. Have they the orange bird's got a bit of a bigger presence again, right?
Yes, it's starting to get a bigger presence. Even this, we're supposed to be down in Flowering Garden, and I'm supposed to be getting my orange bird magnet for my Flowering Garden. So yes, they're bringing orange bird back. In fact, a lot of the merch for this Flowering Garden was orange bird stuff, orange bird ears, orange bird spirit jersey.
Yeah.
But I'll be okay.
Exactly. Yeah. And so kind of following on with the dining stuff, there's Tortuga Tavern, easy for me to say.
Tongue twister.
Yeah, right. And that is part of, there's always been a restaurant that's kind of part of the Pirates kind of complex. It's not in the ride, but it's like kind of overlooking a little bit.
Yeah. Well, this one is across the walkway.
Across the way. Yeah.
It's not like Blue Bayou.
Right, which was, you just like go, hi!
You're literally floating by them.
Right.
And I think it's attached, or it's the same building, same food as Pecos Bill's, which is on the other side for Frontierland.
Got it. So that's, and that's
that's Tortuga Tavern, which you don't want to do the tongue twister on, but Tortuga Tavern.
Tortuga Tavern.
Tortuga Tavern. Tortuga Tavern. Tortuga Tavern. Tortuga. All of a sudden, my Minnesotan's coming out to make it easier for me to be able to speak it. Tortuga Tavern.
Oh boy. Sorry, everyone. And there goes all of our listeners. Bye. And then, of course, then there's the Skipper's Canteen, which has a much larger name that now I'm trying to remember.
Yes.
What is it? It's this. Oh man, Jungle.
It's the Jungle Limited something Skipper's Canteen.
Something Skipper's Canteen. Jungle Navigation Limit. It's themed after the Jungle Cruise. It is a companionship of the Jungle Cruise, and the idea is that all the skippers like have a canteen. It's cute. We've both eaten there separately and had somewhat different experiences.
Yes, we did. If you want to know my experience, there is also a review of that up on our YouTube channel. so
Yeah.
you can get a visual experience of what it's like.
Yeah. And I rather liked it. So,
I didn't
you
say
can
I
take that how you
hated
will.
it.
No, no, no. And
Goodness.
I just said because I don't have one out there right now, I said I
Mm-hmm.
rather liked it. Yeah, the
Yeah.
crystal didn't pan it. Just I was not supposed to sound like a contrast.
Yeah. But
But
this world, as you walk through it, there are a couple different ways to get to Frontierland from it. There is a sneaky way past like this down this little hallway of a bathroom, and
yep,
then you can go to another one that is right next to the Aloha Isle with the Dole Whip, and that'll bring
yep,
you right out in front of Country Bears. And
yep,
then you can do the long way, which is down and around the Caribbean Plaza, past Pirates and the um, restaurant Tortuga Tavern,
yep.
and that will bring you into Frontierland as well.
Land.
So there are 3
Yeah.
exits to get to Frontierland, which is actually quite a bit
Mm-hmm.
when you think about the blending
Right.
of the
Absolutely.
lands.
And then that's on top of the fact that you have the drawbridge that takes you into the hub.
Mm-hmm.
So lots of transit options.
And then there's just one little hidden thing here that I guess is not really as hidden anymore because a lot of us know about it.
Right.
This is where the Club 33 location is for Magic Kingdom. Hint, hint.
Oh.
So when you cross
Ooh.
the bridge to get into it from the hub, that first building on your right hand side is the Club
Mhm.
33 location. You're going to see just a little doorbell that says 33 on it, and it's very inconspicuous. You cannot see what's back there. You can't see, you can't access nothing. And
Hmm.
that's where our Club 33 members for the Magic Kingdom are able to relax and get some food and all of that stuff.
My question is that a separate membership? I would have to assume.
God, yes.
Okay.
So we'll have to do a whole episode regarding Club
Yeah.
33,
For
but
3 because yeah, I'm curious as to like how that works between
it
the
is
two. Anyway,
a specialty
fascinating.
elite membership that you have to have an invite for,
Well,
and
yes.
the annual membership fees alone are
Ships.
$10,000.
Yes, yes. It is quite
I
exorbitant.
can't afford $10,000 a year.
No.
No.
Right. That'd be so much fun though. I think the biggest thing too is don't you have to be invited by a current member? Is that how that works?
I can't remember. We'll have to do the research
Yeah.
before
Yeah,
that
well,
episode.
that will be coming up. Just
Yeah.
give us a minute.
Because we want to know what we're missing out on. Womp womp.
Exactly. Oh.
But that has been Adventureland. Like I said, there's a
Yeah.
lot of episodes, past episodes in regards to the rides and the food. So if you have any questions, go ahead and look those up, or you can just reach out to us and let us know. But
Yeah.
this is one of my favorite lands to come to, especially at night
Yeah.
when they have like the fire torches going
Yeah.
and the lights, like the wired lights that make you feel like you might be like in an encampment, or this is not
Right.
fully
Right.
built up
Yeah.
or anything like that.
Yeah.
It
I
feels
know
so
I know
neat.
the last time I actually spent a little bit of time in Adventureland because we ate at Skipper Canteen and we went and did the treehouse and kind of went back and forth
Mm-hmm.
around the time of the fireworks. And I just am like,
Mm-hmm.
I always forget how cool this spot is. Like, there's just the vibe is just so cool there. So
Mm-hmm.
I always just kind of forget. I'm always there in the midday trying to get to Pirates, and I always just forget how neat of a vibe it has.
Cutting through the herds of people.
Exactly.
But that is Adventureland. This has been
Mhm.
WD Carousel of Progress. Carousel of Podcasts. Sorry. Been
That's all
listening
good.
to a lot of Disney music because,
Yeah,
missing it.
we're
But
all we're all a little
my
sad.
name's Crystal,
And I'm Ian.
and we hope you have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. Bye, everyone.